How would you describe your coping style? You mentioned you're kind of an optimistic person. Does that mean that you have a way to deal with adversity when it comes along?
Yes, but this is what you do through your life from when you're a child. You have your own nature, and whenever life's blows come along, whatever they are, whether it's bereavements or whatever, you have your strategies for dealing with them. My own personal strategy is that I am by nature optimistic, and I'm forward looking, and so I look to overcome the difficulties. I look to the point when I have overcome them, rather than the problems and the things which might weigh against it.
Yes. How have you managed to deal with certain adversities in the past before this? Would you feel that you've used a similar strategy in the past to now?
In some ways, yes. In that this has presented something of a challenge. The challenge is to get through it and to reclaim your life.
Yes.
Now, in life you meet many challenges, and your reaction to that, how you go about doing it, again, depends on your personal style. Myself, I like to have a plan. I like to have a target. I like to see, this is how I'm going to get there, and this is my way of dealing with it. And consequently, as I achieve my targets or revise my targets, it gives me encouragement to press on towards my next target. And these strategies are just ones that I have generally employed in life, and I found it's worked equally well here.
When people look at how others cope with cancer, it's notable people use a variety of different coping styles. A lot of them seem to be innate, i.e. they just come from the person naturally, like you were saying. One of the styles is trying to combat the cancer, like psychologically. Some people call it fighting spirit.
Fighting it.
Yeah, fighting spirit.
Yes, I can appreciate someone who adopts that strategy, who takes this attitude that this is some kind of enemy to be fought. And I think if that helps, if that does the job for you, then why not? The idea is that you need to feel that you are winning, and to know that you are winning, and that if that approach of I'm going to beat this in a kind of physical sense helps you, then that's a perfectly acceptable way of dealing with it.
Now another question is, within those coping styles, you mentioned this also, how much information actually helps. And in the recovery phase, do you think it's useful to try to seek out as much information as possible? I mean, there's a lot of information available now online and through other sources, aren't there, that wasn't previously available?
There is. This again is a very personal thing. In my own experience, I have had family members who didn't want to know anything about it, who would prefer to take each step as it comes along, guided by professionals, do as they're advised to do, and if you like, put their trust that at the end of it, the professionals will guide them to the end result. There are the other extreme. There are people who want to know every nut and bolt, who want to know exactly where things are going to happen and how big and small and long and short they are. I fall in between. I need enough information to feel that I know what's going to happen, to feel that I have some control and I'm forewarned, but I don't need to know every single nut and bolt. I do have trust in the professionals, and that I can see where the path is taking us jointly, because it is a team effort of which you are a member of the team, and they are members of the team. You are working at this together.
It's nice to think of that modern medical approach where you are a participant in your own care. You're given information and consulted. Your opinions are valued, rather than you're just the unwell person things are done to. Because that old-fashioned way does lead the person, as the patient, to feel that they're somewhat out of control. It's almost like being a victim of your disease. And sometimes the medical profession can play into that slightly.
It's easy to do because the professionals are dealing with these things pretty much every day. So for them, whilst every case is unique, there is a common thread that runs through them, and so they know where the path is leading. They've trodden it many times with people, and so it is familiar for them. But obviously for the patient, this is very unfamiliar. And that dependent upon your personal reaction, it can be very tempting to be hands-off and say, well, do what you will with me. But personally, I find a team approach has worked well for me, and the professionals I've dealt with have by and large worked in that way, and that has helped me.
That's good to hear.